Last year, I was up on this panel, and I was able to offer my story of dealing with endometrial cancer, and that is part of this book, so make sure that you put your name in for the book club night with the author. So, thank you. And unfortunately, when I was here last year, I thought it was a great night that I could speak about my one trial with cancer, but in April, God had other plans, and I was diagnosed for a second time. So that's fun, and colon cancer is fun. It's even more fun than endometrial cancer. So I'm so glad and so thankful that I'm actually here to be able to speak tonight. So part of the reason why I'm here is to offer my book, Along Came Hope, and it is a true, raw account of dealing with loss, dealing with grief, dealing with the fight that you have inside yourself when you're going through very difficult times. It's about dealing with that crisis that you have with God when you're going through those times. The book is also very poignant when it comes to how tragedy can tear someone's marriage apart. It's so difficult as a patient to be going through tragedy, but it's also so difficult for the spouses and the caregivers because they don't really get the spotlight like the people that are actually going through the trauma. They don't. And then there's some funny parts in here too, so just make sure you read it. It's going to be a thrill, and it's very funny, and it's very sarcastic because I'm not sarcastic at all. So, and then with that in mind, this night is about hope. The ending of it ends with us finally able to have a child traveling halfway around the world to get this baby full of hope who was born into unknown circumstances, because as her mother, I don't know what her circumstances were. She could have been born in the middle of the night. She could have been born in the desert of Ethiopia, and her mother could have trudged hundreds of miles to deliver her. So 40,000 miles later, I could be her mother. So please make sure that you pick up the book, and it will brighten your day. Secondly, I wanted to speak tonight to say I'm so thankful and I'm so lucky for being here. I posted on Twitter the other day, I said, I've lost a baby. I've battled cancer not once or twice, but I'm so lucky. And you would think that I would think that when they said, it's stage 1, it's so early, yay. When I think about how lucky I am, I think about when I go to the insurance company and they say, you can't get life insurance. The only way you can get life insurance is if you have an employer that's going to sponsor you, because you've already had cancer, no one's going to cover you. And I'm so fortunate because my husband and I were like, well, yeah, let's do term life insurance and pay $35 a month just to have it. Who knows what's going to happen in a few years? So in 2007, my husband and I signed on for a policy where I was very healthy, had not had any issues, and that policy almost expired a few weeks ago until my insurance agent said, you cannot get life insurance ever. So if you update your policy now, they're going to go off your 2007 health, which is a blessing. And I think about all the people that I know in the community who have not been so lucky, who a friend of mine has a mom in rural Tennessee who has terminal brain cancer. She is poor, and she is not within any kind of area to get national medical attention. And my friend even brought her to Huntsman and said, you need to come here now. And her mom said, I can't afford that. But she came anyway, and she said, I'm going to see what happens, and I'm going to make it work. So they put her in to the Hope Lodge, which is the long-term housing here in Salt Lake City. And it's expensive. So she's here for a month. And lodging for your long-term stay is $1,000 a month. And most of you probably own homes, but think about your mortgage payment. So think about someone who already has a home that can't be home, who's actually staying in this facility that pays $1,000 a month. Where does that money come from? And I know that there's a lot of young people in here, like myself, when I was 20 or 30, I just thought, that is not going to happen to me. Well, God had other plans, and it did. And I just count my blessings because you never know what's going to happen. And I know that people say, or I've heard others say, you know, you better make plans because you never know what's going to happen. You better look at that life insurance. You better look at your health insurance. But if you look at the world now and you look where health insurance is going, it's so expensive now. And my friends tell me about their health insurance, and I'm floored because we have great health insurance. And they say, if I had cancer, I don't know what I would do because I couldn't afford the treatments. And I've heard of people saying, I have a lump on my breast, but I don't have health insurance. So they don't go to the doctor. And if you just think about that, that's so scary. And if you really think about it and put yourself in that situation where you may not have insurance, what would you do? So I'm here tonight to say I'm so lucky to have had the situations come across me because by the grace of God, things have worked out. But with the programs like Needs Beyond Medicine, it is for those people that can't afford the gas to drive 150 miles to this world-class facility. This program offers them money for groceries that they might need because they have to pay their medical bills. So think about that, and thank you so much for being here tonight, and I appreciate you listening to me. And finally, the book is called Along Came Hope, and it can be found on Amazon. All right, thank you.